Good morning, and welcome to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development's fourth annual Women Owned Small Business Outreach webinar and virtual matchmaking. As we have done in past years, HUD convenes this annual WASB event in March to commemorate Women's History Month. I am Jean Lynn Powell, the Director for HUD's Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization, or OSDBU. OSDBU's mission is to ensure that small business concerns have the maximum practicable opportunity to participate in HUD procurement opportunities as prime contractors and subcontractors. Please reach out to me and the OSDBU's small but mighty staff, Mr. Derek Pruitt and Ms. Mishoma Hayes, for assistance. HUD's OSDBU is continuously creating new ways to engage and partner with you, especially during these unprecedented times. We constantly refresh OSDBU's website. We post OSDBU's annual reports and webinar recordings. We continuously update HUD's procurement forecast. And we plan 2 more outreach events this year on the Hub Zone and service-disabled veteran-owned small business programs. So be on the lookout. Check OSDBU's webpage for event details. I am honored to welcome our speakers and program office representatives who ensure HUD's vendor outreach events are meaningful and informative. This morning, you will hear from HUD's top leadership and learn about agency priorities, acquisition practices, technology requirements, and updates to the WASB program. And later in the program, you will have opportunities to meet with program office representatives through virtual matchmaking. It is now my honor to introduce our next speaker, HUD Secretary Marsha Fudge. Secretary Fudge comes to HUD with more than 3 decades of public service. She has worked to help low-income families, seniors, and communities across the country. Most recently, Secretary Fudge served as the U.S. representative for the 11th Congressional District of Ohio from 2008 to March 9, 2021. Earlier in her career, she was elected as the first African American and first female mayor of Warrensville Heights, Ohio, a position she held for 2 terms. On March 10, 2021, Secretary Fudge was sworn in as the 18th Secretary of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Please join me in welcoming Secretary Fudge.
First, let me thank Jean for that kind introduction and for the entire team's hard work to convene this meeting. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 4th annual Women-Owned Small Business Outreach and Matchmaking session. I am pleased that we are able to safely gather today for this important session. I am excited to join this event for the first time as the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, and I look forward to a time in the near future to be with you in person. I am pleased that we are joined by HUD Chief Procurement Officer Ronald C. Flom and Acting Deputy CIO Bridget Carper. Additionally, I'd like to welcome Thomas McGrath, Deputy Director of Program and Resource Management for our partnering agency, the Small Business Administration. Thank you for joining us. Women's History Month is an opportunity for us to reflect on the extraordinary legacy of women throughout our country's history who have shaped and contributed to our lives and our nation. As we reflect on the work of the women trailblazers of our past, let us also celebrate the legacy we are building in this moment. This legacy includes the women with us today. Let me say that we see you and we thank you. The fact of the matter is that women have always been on the front lines of progress and in business, from fighting for the right to vote, to working on the front lines as essential workers throughout this unprecedented public health crisis, to starting businesses that serve their communities and the world. In fact, women are currently the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in the country. However, far too often, women are the unsung heroes who lead us through periods of crisis and change. Over the last year, women have continued to lead the country as we confront the coronavirus pandemic. At the same time, women have been the most impacted by the economic fallout of the last year. About 2.5 million women have lost their jobs or left the workforce during the course of the pandemic. Small businesses have closed, with 1 in 4 women-owned businesses closing between February and April of 2020. All the while, gender and racial disparities in pay continue to significantly impact women's ability to provide for their families. As many of you know, I most recently served as the U.S. Representative for Ohio's 11th Congressional District, and I would often talk with business owners, many of whom were women, who would tell me how tough it is to juggle their businesses and their other responsibilities. Throughout this pandemic, this is personal to me, and I know it is personal to everyone here. Women-owned small businesses have been historically underserved in government contracting programs. That is why, as an annual collaborative event, HUD's Women-Owned Small Business Outreach event is specifically tailored to bring together information about HUD's acquisition practices and programs, updates that benefit small women-owned businesses. The federal government's statutory goal is to award 5% of prime contract dollars to women-owned small businesses. In recent years, HUD exceeded the women-owned small business goal, and we intend to continue doing so in coming years. That is why we must be focused on the extraordinary work ahead. At HUD, our work will include prioritizing women in our contracting efforts because we recognize the value women bring to helping us achieve our mission, to help those in need. I am honored to serve as HUD Secretary and to champion small business utilization. HUD has a long history of working together with small businesses in achieving HUD's mission. In closing, HUD welcomes your assistance and needs your participation so that the department can continue to meet its small business goal commitments this year. Again, thank you for joining us today, and I hope you find the program informative and productive. HUD will be planning additional vendor outreach opportunities in the coming months, and I look forward to your participation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Secretary Fudge, for your participation in today's event and for your strong support. Our next speaker is Mr. Ronald C. Flom, Chief Procurement Officer. He has been a constant in HUD's vendor outreach programs and always ready to provide fair opportunity to small businesses in HUD contracting. Over to you, Ron.
Thank you, Jean, for that kind introduction. I'm Ron Flom. I'm HUD's Chief Procurement Officer and Senior Procurement Executive. And I'd like to add my welcome to the Secretary of HUD and also to our OSDBU, Jean Lynn Powell, and tell you a little bit about what we're doing in the Office of the Chief Procurement Officer to further our women-owned small business priorities and a little bit about the HUD procurement program overall. So we're in the middle right now of executing a $2 billion plus acquisition program for FY21. It's exactly 1 year since we went on mandatory telework for the COVID-19 pandemic. And I was really concerned at the beginning of that how we would fare operating remotely, but I've really been pleasantly surprised. We've been able to continue operation of the Office of Chief Procurement Officer and execute all our procurements without a hitch over the past year, to include our closeout of fiscal year 20 last September. So that was a good news story. And as we begin to think about transitioning back into the office, we are in good position with our automated systems to be able to operate remotely and in the office as well. So in addition to executing the FY21 procurement program right now, we're already planning for our FY22 procurement program through our strategic acquisition planning process. That process kicked off in January, and we are in the process of working with the 19 program offices within HUD to develop their strategy and therefore our strategy in procurement to execute the FY22 plan. Now, this one will be a little bit different because we've got a new administration. As of a week ago, we have a new Secretary of HUD, Secretary Fudge. And we also have the $1.9 trillion COVID relief package that the president signed into law last week. So we know that our priorities will change. What we don't know is where and how much, but we're prepared for that. In addition, in the COVID relief bill that was just signed, it extends the eviction moratorium and the foreclosure moratoriums into the fall, which is going to be a large priority and a large workload for HUD once those moratoriums come off. Now, let me talk a little bit about women-owned small business, because that's why we're here today. We're very proud of our performance supporting small businesses in the Office of the Chief Procurement Officer. We've done very well over the past years. We've exceeded our women-owned small business goals every year. And so far for FY21, based on the numbers I've seen through the end of February, we're exceeding all our goals for FY21. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have challenges. We do have some challenges based on the turns in the economy and the single family and multifamily housing markets. And we expect that those challenges will continue as the moratoriums on evictions and foreclosures come off. Now, we are helping to manage our procurement program and also our small business and socioeconomic goals through set-asides. So we've used set-asides for women-owned small businesses in the past strategically, and we will continue to use those to make sure we provide fair opportunities for women-owned small businesses and also for all socioeconomic categories moving forward. I'm very proud of what we've been able to accomplish. I've just completed my second year at HUD, starting my third, and I expect that we're going to continue to improve our processes, improve our small business performance, and women-owned small businesses included in that. So again, thank you, Jean, for the opportunity to speak this morning, and I'll turn it back over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron, for your informative remarks. Our next speaker represents HUD's Office of the Chief Information Officer. IT services is HUD's third largest buying category and provides many prime and subcontracting opportunities for small businesses. Please welcome Ms. Bridget Carper, Acting Deputy CIO for Customer Relationship and Performance Management Office. Over to you, Bridget.
I'm Bridget Carper, and I am representing the Office of the Chief Information Officer. And I am currently the Acting Deputy CIO for Customer Relationship and Performance Management, or CRPM for short. It is a great time to be a woman in the United States of America. Today, we have the first woman vice president in Mrs. Kamala Harris. And after over 40 years, we have our third female Secretary of HUD, Secretary Fudge. So my office, Customer Relationship and Performance Management, we have internal OCIO customer relationship coordinators, as well as a CRC for each of the 17 program offices within HUD. And we also serve our external partners, which are contractors that some of you may be, our lenders that use our system, as well as our end users, internal and external to HUD. Our office also serves as the IT project managers, or the technical points of contact for all of the IT and service contracts. Those individuals work day to day with the program offices to obtain their requirements, as well as our contractors to implement those requirements and policy changes into reality. In OCIO, currently half of our staff and their senior leadership are female. That includes myself, as well as the Chief Technical Officer, Jill Janicek, as well as Aka Fleming, our Deputy CIO for BIRM, which is the Business and IT Resource Management. Those offices work on different strategic initiatives as well as enterprise solutions. So our CTO, Ms. Genesek, has a lot of interesting items going on with new solutions to HUD, Salesforce, AWS, MicroStrategies, as well as ServiceNow are a few of our solutions that Jill has introduced to HUD, and we're looking for becoming a leading expert within the housing industry with our technology. It's where the future leads, where they're getting away from the siloed and old legacy mainframe systems to cloud-based cutting-edge technology. Our other offices within OCIO also include the Office of IT Security, where our CISO resides, who's working on enhancing security and requirements for making our systems as we add new ones and our existing one as safe as possible to protect our data. Our operations office, which is our data center and our whole backbone, our infrastructure, also is supported by contracts. And then lastly, our office of the Chief Digital Service Officer, where we're looking to minimize paper. We're looking to get away from the fragmented mini systems, mainframe, to move forward to different solutions, including robotic solutions. OCIO is a proud supporter of women-owned contractors, small businesses, as we have multiple contracts that are with women-owned businesses that cover our operations and maintenance, as well as our development contracts. And the most prominent women-owned small business contractor we have is with our FHA Catalyst project. It's cultivated and led by a woman contractor, but also under our Chief Digital Servicer, Artie Chin. In addition to the FHA Catalyst, we also, he's working on Native Advantage for public and Indian housing. So those efforts are ones that you've seen on LinkedIn or you've seen in different articles that is supported by our previous Secretary of HUD. And hopefully we will continue that relationship as we look to modernize a lot more of our systems in the upcoming year. In closing, I would like to thank the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization for allowing OCIO and also you strong-willed business owners that happen to be women to lead our expertise to further HUD's mission. Thanks, Jean, again for having us, and back to you, Jean.
Thank you, Ms. Carper, for sharing OCIO's technological outlook for HUD. I am pleased to introduce our next speaker, who is from HUD's partner agency. Mr. Terrence A. Moultrie Sr. serves as the Compliance Chief, Program and Resource Management in the Small Business Administration's Office of Government Contracting and Business Development. He will share information about the WASB Federal Contracting Program. Over to you, Mr. Moultrie.
Thank you, Jean, for the introduction. My name is Terrence Moultrie, and I'm the Chief Compliance here at the Women-Owned Small Business Program. And today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the Women-Owned Small Business Federal Contracting Program. The Women-Owned Small Business Federal Contracting Program continues to provide certification opportunities to women-owned small businesses, or what we call WASBs. To help provide a level playing field for women-owned small businesses, the government limits competitions for certain set-aside contracts to businesses certified as a women-owned small business or an economically disadvantaged women-owned small business in this program. These contracts are for specific industries where women-owned small businesses are underrepresented or substantially underrepresented. Getting certified as a women-owned small business or an economically disadvantaged women-owned small business through our beta.certified.sba.gov makes a business eligible to compete for federal contract set-aside. Our new certification platform, beta.certified.sba.gov, offers a number of resources for firms seeking certification, including pre-preparation checklists, knowledge-based articles, training videos, and live webinars. Firms seeking certification such as should be active and registered for all awards in the System for Awards Management, normally referred to as SAMs. Once registered in SAMs, firms can create their beta.certified.sba.gov account and create their applications for WASB and EDS-WASB certifications. To date, we have certified over 1,000 women-owned small businesses since the beginning to certify firms from October 15th of 2020 and continue to certify more each day. To stay up to date on the WASB Federal Contracting Program, please visit our website at sba.gov/WASB Ready. The SBA remains committed to certification program for women-owned and economically disadvantaged women-owned small business and helping meet the federal government-wide goals to award at least 5% of all federal contracting dollars to women-owned small businesses each year. Thank you for the work you do for women entrepreneurs and the small business community. Again, I thank you for your time and appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moultrie, and for the continued partnership between HUD and SBA. In closing, I also want to thank all of our speakers for taking time to be with us today. Let's give them a warm round of virtual applause. You will find a link to a recording of the speakers on OSDBU's website after this event. For future opportunities to engage with HUD, please check our website. OSDBU plans future webinars to keep the small business community informed. Thanks to HUD program offices for participating in the virtual matchmaking portion of today's program. And I want to thank OSDBU staff, Derek Pruitt and Mishoma Hayes, for their hard work in putting this program together. To all small businesses, including women-owned businesses, thank you for what you do to help HUD and the nation. The next segment of our program is virtual matchmaking. I hope that you find your meetings with HUD program offices productive and meaningful. Thank you and have a great day.